Close your eyes and imagine. You are standing in the Arabian Peninsula in the 7th century. There is nothing here but endless stretches of golden sand dunes, the scorching heat by day,
and the bone-chilling cold by night. In that harsh land, a great chapter of history is about to be written.
The year is 624 AD. To understand the Battle of Badr, we must go back in time a little. The early Muslims, under the guidance of Muhammad, had endured 13 years of brutal persecution in Mecca.
Unable to endure it any longer, they had to leave everything behind. Their homes, their wealth, their homeland.
To undertake the great migration to Medina seeking refuge. They arrived empty-handed, bearing the status of exiles. In the spring of 624, an opportunity arose. A massive trade caravan of the Quraysh, led by Abu Sufyan, was returning with immense wealth, much of it stolen from the Muslims. Muhammad decided it was time to act. Abu Sufyan, sensing danger, immediately dispatched a fast rider to Mecca to call for help.
The news ignited a storm of fury. Abu Jahl, a ruthless and arrogant enemy, called for war.
A massive army was assembled. Nearly 1,000 elite warriors, armed to the teeth, marching with supreme arrogance.
Meanwhile, look at the army of Medina. Merely 313 men. Farmers, artisans, and youths.
They had exactly 2 horses and 70 camels. Weapons were scarce. The force ratio was 1 to 3.
Hearing the main army approached, Muhammad gathered his companions for counsel. He forced no one.
A Medinan stood up and declared, "Even if you order us to plunge into the deep sea, we will plunge with you."
The 2 armies advanced toward the valley of Badr. The terrain here would decide who held the advantage. The Muslim army reached Badr first. They cleverly secured the vital water wells and filled in the others.
In the desert, water is life. The night before the battle was a strange night. The sky poured rain. That rain brought 2 distinct fates. At the Meccan campsite, the ground turned into thick, muddy slush.
He understood that the fate of a religion, the fate of history, was gambling on tomorrow. Dawn, March 13, 624. The sun slowly rose, casting its first rays on cold steel swords.
On the other side was a neat, silent formation, with the unwavering eyes of 313 Muslims.
The battle began with duels. The Meccan army sent out their 3 fiercest warriors, growling challenges. From the Muslim side, 3 men stepped forward: Ali, Hamza, and Ubaidah, the bravest of warriors.
The duels were lightning fast but brutal. With unparalleled combat skills, the Muslims won an overwhelming victory. Enraged by the loss, Commander Abu Jahl madly swung his sword, ordering the entire 1,000 Meccan troops to charge.
A blinding sandstorm rose from the thundering footsteps of the enemy. But the Muslims did not panic.
They waited for the enemy to get very close, and then volleys of arrows shot out with devastating precision. Next came the bloody hand-to-hand combat. Despite being vastly outnumbered, the Muslims fought with extraordinary strength. Seeing their leader killed, the morale collapsed. Elite warriors threw away their weapons to flee desperately. The Battle of Badr ended. A true miracle had occurred. 313 men had defeated 1,000.
It shattered the myth of invincibility and firmly established the Muslims as a formidable force.
Those 313 people in the desert that year forever changed the course of world history. Historical records say that in the fiercest moments of the battle,
the Muslims felt the presence of angels sent down from the sky.
to strengthen their ranks and strike terror into the hearts of the enemy. Over 70 of Mecca's best commanders and warriors were killed, and 70 others were taken prisoner.
Meanwhile, the Muslim army lost only 14 martyrs. The Battle of Badr was not just an ordinary military victory.
It was a shockwave that shook the entire Arabian Peninsula.
Today, when people speak of the Battle of Badr, they don't just talk about swords or tactics. They recount it as an immortal testament to a truth. When people unite under a true faith,
When they have the courage to stand up against oppression, even in the most desperate of circumstances.
Then no power, no massive army can ever subdue them.
thank you for listening to this epic tale.